thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy giveth thee.
Okay.
So basically it's saying metaphorically, of course, some people take the Bible literal, which I don't. But basically it's saying if you honor thy mother and your father, your days will be long, like you'll live longer.
Yeah.
And I noticed that in the scripture, it says that thy days may be long. It didn't say that thy days will be long. So I say that to say, with everything that you're doing, even just the subtle respect you have for your mother and the relationship that you're dealing with your father, I think that you're going over and beyond. But I also question, are you going too far beyond? Because that, like, if I really think about it, like, you were brought into this world, your dad wasn't there at all, period. He didn't even know he had you until you was in your 20s. And then your mother, she had to get rid of you when you was 6 months old. How would you can't be, the onus can't be on you to honor someone who does something so ridiculous to you. I think that's your personal novice, your personal choice to go the length that you've gone thus far.
Yeah. Well, like my mother's in my life now, but it's only by way of my kids. Now, when I was going to seek joint custody, I needed someone to help. There was no way I could do it by myself. I had to work, and my kids were still pretty young. So I turned to my mother, and I told her, I said, look, I'm going to go for joint custody. Will you help me with the kids? And she said yes. So for the last several years, she's been there in respect to that. She's helped me out. She gets here, gets the girls off to school and stuff like that. But the reality is that my mother is really just what she was. I mean, she had provided transportation and stuff like that, but my mother was really an adult body in the house. My kids ran the show. Because there's times that stuff happens, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, well, for instance, my daughter was sick. I think she came home early from school, or she didn't go to school. My mother's watching her. I come home, my daughter's eating potato chips. Now she's sick. She's eating potato chips. And I'm like, why? Like, she's sick. That's not good food for her body. Oh, she wanted them. I'm like, but you're the adult. So I'm constantly like having to remind her that she's the adult. But my kids are really running the show. They've been running the show for the last several years. My mother's just been an adult body because I needed an adult body in the house.
Well,
so we have this relationship, and I reach out to her less and less as far as the kids are concerned, because they're at an age now, like if my older one's home with my younger one, they can kind of do things on their own. So I do reach out less and less, but I still do utilize her to help out. And I do tell her I appreciate her. It doesn't go without me telling her that I appreciate her. I tell her thank you all the time because I do appreciate it. It's just that we do not have that mother-son dynamic where I know that woman is my mother, but I don't feel the thing that I feel for my father. I don't have the desire that I have, that thing that I want from my dad. I don't have that for my mother.
Listen, they have you're doing I don't know what it's called, but you're definitely giving people an opportunity to see the different ways that people are. And you're in a good light doing that. Because my personality, if you left me, I'm gonna explode on you.
Yeah.
And at that point, then we can build a relationship. But I'm gonna explode. Like, have you ever had that conversation? Well, have you ever screamed in anger to them about what happened to you, or no?
No. I have been angry. I mean, I've had some stuff go on with my mother where I've had to yell at her because she wasn't being the adult.
Yo, you're doing you.
Like
You
I was,
got that Mahatma Gandhi in your blood.
so, but I was angry at my mom for a lot of years, and then I just it kind of subsided. Like my mom's doing good now. She's in a stable relationship. She bought a house like 2 years ago. She's doing, she's living her life. In that, I feel kind of proud of her. Like I have this feeling that she's not drinking anymore. She's not using drugs anymore. She's doing, she's doing okay. A month without money, she might totally go under. So she's not. I'm just saying, like she's living her life, and in that I feel happy for her. I had this feeling of good for her. So the anger isn't there anymore. It's just that mother and son relationship just isn't there. And speaking of that, like, there's this whole idea of how your relationship with your mother, a lot of people believe that dictates how your relationship are going to be with women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my current girlfriend was telling me this. She kind of believes along the lines of that.
Okay.
And because I don't have this relationship with my mother and there's really no love there, she thinks, well, that's how you're going to be with women. And I'm like, no, that isn't. Because my relationship, and that might be true in some cases. Anything you pull out of a hat can be true in some cases.
That's like saying you want to know what your wife's going to look like in 20 years. Look at her mother.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
not always right. It's just one of those.
And sometimes it is, and
right.
Most times it isn't.
Right.
So
what's up with
go ahead.
What's up with this parent dynamic?
It's almost like this reverse thing where, I'm craving for more things. My father, who wasn't there at all, one would think I would just be completely angry with him, as well. And then I had a mother. She wasn't there, but she was there, and I don't desire that same thing. I don't desire a hug from her. I don't. Like I said, when she says "I love you," it kind of makes me feel weird, And she might very well mean it, She maybe just her life prevented her from being the parent that she could have been. Maybe I'm trying to see all sides of it, right? Maybe she has some regrets on the inside. We've never talked about it. Maybe when she comes over here and looks at me, maybe she's like, maybe on the inside she's like, I messed up. I don't know. But that could very well be the case. I don't know what's really going on the inside of her because we don't talk. Because I don't come from a family of talkers. I come from a family of yellers and gossipers. They love talking about people, and other people. Even now, my mom comes over sometimes and she wants to like gossip with me. I'm like, I don't want to. No, I don't want to know anything about whatever you're talking about. I don't want to know. Keep that stuff to yourself. So but getting away. I'm happy for her. I am happy for her. I'm happy that she isn't struggling in life like she once was. I'm not angry with her. I'm happy for her because she had a tough life as well.
So the parent dynamic is what? Are you talking about your parent dynamic, or are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about mine with my individual parents.
So, we haven't talked too much about your grandmother. Maybe we could talk about her in episode number 4, because maybe that plays a part in this parent dynamic as well.
Well, yeah, definitely, because she's the one that raised me, and it was, and towards the end of her life, and I won't go too much in it, because we can talk about it then. We had an estranged relationship, and she died, and I hadn't seen her probably for a few months prior to her dying, and I didn't see her before she died. We never, reconciled before she
Did you go
died.
To the funeral?
No,
okay.
And afterwards, of thinking about her and thinking about her life and what she did for me, and and how I didn't get that affectionate love from her either, but she did provide it. You know, I just had some different insights and some different ways of seeing her. You know, so yeah, definitely, because she's the one that took me from, you know, basically a baby up to, you know, up to my teens. You know, she was the one that was there.
Did your grandmother ever talk, I guess, not in the best light of either of the two when you were growing up, or did she not discuss it at all?
Yeah, it wasn't discussed. Like I said, my dad was never discussed. And I don't know if I had mentioned this. Like, no one ever talked about my dad. I knew his name, and that was it. I don't even know how I learned his name. Obviously, someone told me his name, but that was it. He was never discussed. And then my mom, she was she was around, but I don't ever remember. There was enough going on visually that I could see that I knew that was a relationship of turmoil as well between my grandmother and my mother. But not only them two, just my whole family. There was just a underlying turmoil that would explode at any time, and there were many explosions. So
now,
there was really no need. You know,
when your mom says, or she texts you or she says love you, right, and you don't respond or say anything, have you guys ever talked about, like, has she ever asked you, like, hey, you know, why don't you ever say anything back? She never said that to you?
Nope. No.
Never?
Never asked me. We are like I said, we are not people that, you know, I'm the person that talks, but it's hard. Like, I feel more comfortable opening up to you, and I just met you, as opposed to opening up to my mother. And I don't know why that is. It just, you know, because I guess because we were in each other's lives, and there was such a divide our whole lives that it's hard to cross that. The closest I've gotten to really expressing myself to my mom was just a few months ago, and asking her about me, getting her to open up and say, like, why was I taken from you? That was really the first one. You? yeah. But it was like, why was I? Tell me, why was I taken from you? Because all I know is that I was in a foster home, but no one's telling me why. And that was the closest. And she, you know, and then she, you know, she told me.
How long were you in the foster home?
I think about 6 months or so.
Okay. So it's not like you still have a relationship with those people.
No. Okay. Not at all. I don't even remember it, or, you know, or anything like this. Is just from, you know, having known because someone told me. But I had never known why. Never. All these years I didn't know why. And just like maybe 2 months ago, I just and it was along the lines of me reaching out to her and saying, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? I'd like to talk to you about some things. But she didn't want to go. You know, she said she had something else going on, and we haven't revisited it yet. Because really, what I wanted to do was just have a conversation. I wanted to know some things. I wanted to know, number one, about, you know, about my, you know, me being in a foster home, but I also wanted to know about her relationship with my father. Did they have a relationship? Were they dating? Was it a one-night stand? Like, what was it? What was it that she ended up pregnant and my dad wasn't around? Like what? Because I don't know. My dad says he don't remember her, and I haven't talked to my mom about it. So this is some of the stuff I want to start. You know, my mom's in her 60s now. My dad's in their 60s. Maybe they'll live another 20 years or so. I don't know. But I feel like it's the time to start, like, saying, hey, what was going on?
You know, because maybe
what's that?
It would be dope if you have them on as guests on your podcast, one of those episodes. Do you know how dope definitely that would be?
Yeah.
Like, that would really be powerful. I would be
because listening. This is what we're talking about, right? And to bring the source on, you know, yeah, definitely.
That would be extremely powerful.
But that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at some truth. I'm trying to see, because I know how I feel, but I'm, you know, trying to see what was going on in their lives as well. Because there's always something, you know, there's something going on in their lives too that caused them to do what they do, or be what they be, or not do what they should be doing. And I want to try to take the opportunity to understand